Hello, I'm Gavin the Credit Coach, and this is the first in a series of videos called Lexington 360, a 360-degree look at the inside workings of the nation's largest and most well-established credit correction law firm. In this series, we'll explore the three major components of the Lexington Law Firm service, and we'll take a look behind the curtain to see how it's all done. Today, we'll focus on the backbone of any good credit correction effort, credit bureau disputing. As you may already know, your creditworthiness is 100% dependent on a three-digit number, your credit score. Generally speaking, a 700 credit score is the bottom limit of traditional creditworthiness. Anything below that and qualifying for credit becomes difficult and expensive. Your score can be dragged down by bad marks such as negative listings, including late payments, judgments, collections, bankruptcy, and even creditor inquiries. Addressing a low credit score is more complex than most people think. Removing questionable negative listings is important, but it's not the only component of credit improvement. Lexington Law employs a three-dimensional approach. The first dimension involves the credit bureaus. These companies collect and house your credit information. Contrary to popular misconception, they're not part of the government, and they're definitely for-profit companies. By sending a series of carefully written dispute letters to the three credit bureaus, the firm works to trigger an investigation into the questionable negatives on your report. If the information is found to be inaccurate, or if the information isn't verified, then the negative items are removed or improved. At the same time, if you're a Concord level client, the firm conducts phased interventions with the creditors who reported the questionable information to the credit bureaus in the first place. Many of these communications result in the removal of more questionable negative listings from the credit report, either because the credit company decides to give you the benefit of the doubt or because they cannot back up the information they had previously reported. If you're a Concord Premier level client, the firm also goes to work with you on improving the host of other factors that also impact your credit score. We call those factors score makers. Removing inaccurate or questionable negatives isn't enough to get maximum score impact. We must go deeper into the credit report to touch all the factors that will make up that all-important three-digit credit score. These score makers include your maxed out ratios, your good credit lines, your account balances, your types of credit, and even your credit inquiries. As you can see, our Concord Premier service tackles all three dimensions of your credit score strategy. Let's start with credit bureau disputing. I'm here with the Lexington Law Attorney Roundtable, and today we're talking about the credit bureaus and a person's rights to dispute questionable negative credit. So in a nutshell, what are a person's rights?
You know, that's a great question. The American consumer has several rights available to them under federal statute to dispute items that are inaccurate, unverifiable, misleading, obsolete, and yes, even biased on their credit reports.
One thing to keep in mind is that it is the credit bureau's duty or their burden to prove that an item is supposed to be on a client's or an individual's credit report. If they can't verify that that item is accurate, it must come off under federal law.
As part of the Lexington Law Firm service, you create dispute letters on behalf of your clients and then send them to the three credit bureaus. What's so special about your letters?
Our letters are a result of several years of practice and experience. They're designed for specific purposes in dealing with the credit bureaus and items that may be inaccurate, misleading, unverifiable, obsolete, and biased on your credit report.
We're able to track the effectiveness of these dispute letters, and we're able to adjust them if we notice that they're not being as effective. So we're able to change and we're able to adjust to the climate as we go. We have in the past been able to see what works and what doesn't, and we take what works and we put them in the letters. What doesn't work, we take that out.
Kevin, your thoughts?
We've been in this business for over 18 years. We have literally represented hundreds of thousands of clients with their credit issues and have sent out millions of dispute letters to the credit bureaus with incredible success. We've been around for a long time. We know what we're doing, and we're going to be around for a long time to come.
Let's see this process in action. The credit reports are either sent in by clients or they arrive electronically at the firm's office or at one of the satellite law firms around the country. Considering both the instructions of the client and the firm's proprietary dispute algorithm, listings are selected for dispute and some listings are selected to be disputed later. Past experience has proven that disputing all questionable listings at once often triggers a stall response from the credit bureau, so it's important to choose wisely which listings will be disputed and when. Then, dispute letters are written on the client's behalf and transmitted to the bureaus. Once the credit bureaus receive the letters, the clock is ticking. The bureaus must send notice to the creditors must look into the client's dispute, and then respond within 30 days. If any part of this handoff fails, then the listings must be deleted or improved. Often this is a convenient opportunity for creditors to simply give the customer a second chance, especially if the creditor wants to maintain good customer relations. If the credit card or bank does nothing, then the questionable negative listing is automatically removed and everyone is happy. After 30 days, the credit bureau's responses to the dispute letters should be on their way. Then the process gets really interesting. So what do you do if the credit bureaus or the banks decide to resist the client's request for the questionable negative listing to be removed?
Well, it depends. It depends on the individual circumstance. So sometimes they are and sometimes they're not. And the thing that troubles me the most is that it appears to me that the credit bureaus have some kind of vested interest in keeping people's scores down, or they're perhaps keeping negative items on there, because they do go to great lengths to resist efforts to try to get your negative listings off. Business and the economics of it seem to supply an incentive for them to ignore your disputes, your legitimate disputes.
As we discuss this, you can see that each case is very fact-specific and has certainly different facts. And as any good attorney will tell you, there are just absolutely no guarantees, except for one, that will work hard for you, our client. With that in mind, our negative listings usually removed. Certainly we've had a great success rate with our past clients, and again, we can promise that we'll work hard for you.
As you can see, there's a lot going on behind the scenes at Lexington Law Firm. Of course, as we mentioned at the beginning, credit bureau disputing is only one part of the full suite of credit correction services. Tune into the next 2 episodes of Lexington 360 to see how the attorneys and specialists at Lexington Law take credit repair to the next level with creditor interventions and credit score coaching. Until next time, I'm Gavin, the credit coach, and remember, together we can do this.